Okay, I'm ready now. Go.
Hey there, this is Dr. Tracy Gappin from the Gappin Institute, and you're listening to the Vroom Vroom Veer show with Jeff Smith, reminding you if you want to have even more energy, even more focus, and better drive, check out gappininstitute.com/launch to start your peak performance journey today.
Perfect. Oh, yeah, you've done this before.
Few times.
All right,
Few times.
let me hit stop. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Are you ready to thoughtfully steer away from your revved up, frenzied, and far too often scripted life? Then welcome to Vroom Vroom Veer with Jeff Smith, where he guides you down the road differently traveled by sharing unique experiences with guests who have managed to shift away from a life stuck on cruise control and veered their way into a more authentic and fulfilling one in all sorts of interesting and kind of remarkable ways. Get ready to Vroom Vroom Veer with your differently traveled road chauffeur, Jeff Smith.
John Kippen, thank you so much for being on Vroom Vroom Veer and welcome to the show. How's it going?
I am awesome to be here.
So you are at johnkippen.com. You also got like John Kippen coaching going on. So
KippenCoaching.com.
KippenCoaching.com. See, didn't know that one. Now I know.
There you go.
You got a lot going on. So talk a little bit about what you're most excited about in your life, your website, and your many businesses, maybe. I don't know.
Well, I've had an IT business since I was in college.
Oh, wow. See, that
providing
answers a future question. Excellent.
providing outsourced IT services for the entertainment industry in Los
Oh,
Angeles
wow.
and New
Wow.
York.
And you're still doing that. That's
Yeah.
still running.
I am.
Okay.
I'm just not. It doesn't get me out of bed in the morning anymore.
Understood. Totally get it.
And that's an hour conversation in and of itself. So we're going to
I
leave
get
that.
it.
We're going to leave that be.
Yeah, no problem.
So you mentioned you wanted me kind of to go back to the origin story.
Well, yeah, sure. We can do
So
that.
I grew up in Los Angeles in the San Fernando Valley to two great parents who were both
Okay.
attorneys.
Okay.
Went to a private school from kindergarten through 12th grade.
Wow.
Got involved
Okay.
in theater and both on stage and behind the scenes.
Wow.
And that's
Okay.
kind of where I learned how to think creatively.
Interesting. Wow.
Went to college and studied theater as well.
Okay.
Worked on computers. I'm 60 now, so that was in the early 80s.
Okay.
And got hired to put together a
Early.
computer lab at Cal State University Northridge.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
where I started my computer consulting business that served me well.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Wow.
everything was going great. I had a house, girlfriend, just everything going fine. And then in June of 2002, I started
Okay.
having symptoms, not being able to hear men's voices on the phone when I had it to my left ear. And
You couldn't hear men's voices.
yeah, men's voices. Women's
You could
voices
hear
were
women's
okay,
voices.
but
So
men's
you had a
voices,
low frequency hearing loss.
right.
Interesting.
And so
Okay.
my dad was a paratrooper, so he had hearing issues. So he had his favorite ENT. So I went to him in
Okay.
the Hills, the ones, those that don't take
The
in.
fancy ones? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they ran all sorts of hearing tests and couldn't find anything wrong. And I kind of chalked that up to whatever. It didn't really stop my forward momentum. But
Huh.
then the dizziness started
Uh-oh.
to the point where every walking and standing moment, I had to hold on. Otherwise, I'd
Wow.
all over.
Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so what's the timeline between like, oh well, whatever, nothing's wrong with my hearing, and then you start getting
A
dizzy?
month.
A month. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Got it.
And I knew at that point
And this
that I
is
would
like
have
still the 80s, or are we in the 90s or 2002? My bad.
in 2002, right?
2002. So you've already been at work doing stuff for
Oh yeah,
some
make a
years.
good living,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
enjoying it.
Right.
It's
IT business guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's my middle name.
In your home. Basically, you're doing it
Out of my
where you
house,
grew
right?
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Out of
Oh,
my
wow, out of your house. Even better. Okay.
So anyway, I knew I had to go get an MRI.
Right.
So I found another ENT part of my medical plan who could get that prescription so my insurance would cover the cost of the MRI.
Right.
I was claustrophobic. So that was kind of, it took me 3 or 4 attempts to actually get
Yeah. MRIs are no joke.
get enough sedatives in me to be able to tolerate being in that tube for 45 minutes. And as you can see, I'm not a small guy. So,
Right.
my shoulders were touching the sides of the tube, and it just, anyway,
Unpleasant experience.
that's trauma number
And
one.
it's super, super loud too.
I didn't mind the sound.
Okay. You were just claustrophobic.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
claustrophobic.
Got it.
And I ended up finding a set of periscope glasses that
Okay.
had mirrors built into them. So when you're
Oh,
laying
okay.
down, you looked up and looked out. And
Got
that's
it.
really the only way I was able to tolerate. But anyway,
Sort of like horse blinders for John.
yeah, exactly right. Yeah, but with mirrors.
Okay. Yeah.
I then so after the MRI, I went to the front desk as I was checking out, and I
Yeah.
said, "How much for that set of films you just printed?" And the nurse said, "Oh no, those go to the radiologist, and he'll read the films and then write a report, and in 3 or 4 days, doctor will get a email from us, and then
Okay.
he'll give you the diagnosis."
I see.
I said, "Yeah, I appreciate that, but that's not the question I asked. The question I asked was, how
What's the
much
bill?
for that set of films?"
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
said, "John, I've
I
never had
have no
anybody ask
idea.
that before."
They don't know.
So she
Yeah.
asked her office manager and said $300, and I handed her a credit card and said, "I'm taking those films. You can print another set for the radiologist."
Oh, wow.
And I
Okay.
walked out with the films under my arm, and that was before they had them all digitalized.
Sure.
And I drove to my ENT's office and walked in without an appointment. And I looked at him through the reception window. He happened to be standing there, and he saw my face. He saw my expression. He saw the films, and he said, "Come on in." So he put the first film up on his little light board, and the color drained from his face.
Uh-huh.
And he took it down. He said, "John, I think I see something, but this is not my area of expertise. So sit down, get comfortable. I'm going to make an appointment with you." And he went away and came back a half hour later saying, "Okay, you have an appointment at 10 a.m. downtown at the most prestigious ear clinic on the West Coast."
Ear clinic.
Ear clinic.
Still ear clinic. Okay.
Yeah, called the House Ear Clinic.
All right.
And take your films and they'll tell you what's going on.
Okay. So you have a
So
plan.
at least I knew that something was causing that. And, I'm a glasses half full kind of guy.
Okay.
So I was thinking that they are going to be able to solve it with a pill or a shot or a therapy or whatever.
No big
So
deal yet.
no big deal yet. So I walk into the ear clinic and they take me to a room and the surgeon comes in, and I hand him the films, and he does the same thing. He puts one on the board, the light board, and then he immediately gets on the phone and calls a neurosurgeon in.
Geesh.
Comes in, looks at the films.
Did he
We
tell you
talk.
that he's going to call a neurosurgeon?
No, 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 no. I'm watching a movie.
Gotcha.
I'm watching a horror film at this point.
Okay.
And they just have a little conversation.
Yeah.
And the neurosurgeon leaves. The doctor gets on his phone, calls his office for a minute, and then he turns around and says, "John, you have a 4.5 centimeter acoustic neuroma brain tumor. It is
Okay.
displacing your brainstem and killing you, killing you, killing you, killing you." That's what I heard in my head.
Wow.
I have pushed another patient. We are operating you on Friday. This is Monday.
Wow.
On Friday,
Okay.
you're going to go deaf in your left ear.
Okay.
There is a small chance, that you'll have some residual facial weakness. We're going to do everything we can to prevent that.
Interesting.
And he left the room.
Wow.
And there I'm sitting on this examining table with the tissue paper under your butt
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm squirming and all I can hear is the whipping of the
Killing
tissue
you.
paper
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Did you break out in a cold sweat kind of thing?
I couldn't believe my ears. I didn't,
Yeah,
what do you.
right.
And now I'm in shock.
Sure.
And then the question started going through my head.
Right. Am I gonna die?
So I actually opened the door and heard him because I still had good hearing. I just couldn't
Sure.
hear certain tones.
Right.
And I found him in a little cubicle recording a thank you note to the ENT that referred me. And I turned to him and I said, Dr. X, we weren't done. You can record that thank you note later. And I brought him back into the examining room and we spent 15, 20 minutes of me asking questions.
Okay.
And
Do you
he's like,
remember what
John, I
you
got to,
asked? Or
oh, I asked, how long going to be in the hospital? You know, is it going to hurt? Is there, what
yeah.
kind of pain do people? And
Right.
I remember his answer to that. He says, there are no nerves in your head.
Okay.
So it'll be like you cut your scalp. And that's the only pain you'll feel.
Gotcha.
So that reassured me that at least it wasn't going to be, painful.
Painful. Okay.
He left. He had another consultation to go to. So I drove when I met my parents for lunch and they want to know everything. And they started drilling me with questions. And I'm like, I
I
don't
don't know.
remember.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
remember what he said.
Right.
And so at that point, I had 4 days to get my affairs in order and find one of my consultants who could take over the company for who knows how long, week
Right.
to a month.
Right.
But again, I was hopeful,
Okay.
you know.
Did you ask
So
about how long the rehab would be or if there would be rehab? Was that
he gave the stock answer. It's different for everyone.
I get it. I get it.
One word to your list, one word of advice to your listeners.
Okay. Yeah.
If they ever are going in to see a doctor, a surgeon,
Yeah.
take someone with you
It's a good idea.
because
Yeah. When
what
you're
they
in
say
shock,
is
you
going to
don't
go
like,
in one ear and out the other.
right.
And you're going to have questions. And you're
Right.
not going to be able to get a hold of the doctor or the surgeon the
Right.
next day, 2 days later
Right.
to ask.
Right. 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 Right.
So take someone with you who can just be there to listen and take notes.
Yeah. I
Because
wonder if they
doctors,
would let, like,
they
this
don't,
probably wouldn't apply to your situation because it was 2002. I don't know if we had smartphones then.
uh,
But like, I wonder, and the answer is probably no. But like I wonder if they would let you turn on like voice recorder on your phone. Like
no, they don't.
they don't. I
For
don't
liability reasons,
know. Okay, right.
they don't.
Yes. Right.
They're like attorneys, they're
Sure.
like,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
get it. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right. Notes. You can take notes.
So that week went by very quickly because I had a lot
Right.
to accomplish.
Sure.
And
You had to get ready.
my parents drove me down the night before, checked into the hospital.
Probably can't eat or anything,
Yeah,
right?
can't eat past midnight. So we had
Right,
a
right.
nice steak dinner that night before they dropped me off. Went up to my room and tried to get a couple hours of sleep. And at 6 a.m., there's a knock on the door, orderly with a gurney. He said, okay, get undressed, get on the gurney, and here's a sheet to put over you.
Yep.
And now, everything, I'm feeling every sense of my body. I can remember that gurney was ice cold.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I get it.
And so they're rolling me down this hallway, and the hallway has fluorescent tubes.
Wow. Okay. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm,
Lighting.
yeah, fluorescent
Yeah.
tube lighting. So all I can see is me going down the hallway and looking at the ceiling and just seeing tube, tube, tube as we're passing it.
Yeah.
And we go in the elevator, we go down the elevator and then into the pre-op area. And I remember a nurse saying to me, John, I need to shave your head. Do you want me to do it before you go under or after? I said,
Interesting.
after, please. She said, okay. And then another woman
Okay.
in scrubs with a mask
Yeah.
said, oh, John, I want to introduce myself. My name is Dr. So-and-so, and I'm your anesthesiologist. I have some, well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but my office just got a hold of me, and it seems as though your insurance doesn't cover my services. So here is a clipboard and a piece of paper I need you to sign to say that you will pay my bill.
Wow.
There I am lying naked under a sheet, ready to go in for brain surgery.
Yeah.
Well, being that I was born to two attorneys, I knew that she would never be able to collect a dime from me because that was having me sign under duress.
Correct.
So I happily signed my John Hancock.
You were probably already a little sedated by that point.
No,
Oh,
no, no, not yet.
they didn't give you the pre-sedation pill yet?
No, no, no.
Oh, okay. Well, there might
So I
be.
signed it. They rolled me into the operator room. They put the mask over my face and said, count backwards from five.
Okay.
5, 4, 3. I'm out.
Right.
The next thing I know, I'm starting to come to, and it's like I'm 50 meters down in a pool, trying to swim to the surface. And
Wow.
I could hear, John, John,
Mm.
wake up,
Yep.
John.
Okay. That's like a
And
nurse or something, maybe.
it was my dad, actually.
Oh, okay.
So when I finally came to enough to kind of recognize that I was awake, and the first thing I realized was the dizziness was gone. So I was like, wow, thank God.
Right.
So there I'm laying, in a bed, still groggy, and my dad's sitting on the edge of the bed, holding my hand and smiling. And I expected to see my mom, and I'm looking around, and I need glasses. So I asked my dad for my glasses, and I go to put the glasses on, and I realize that I can't really fit them on my head because my head is bandaged.
Ah,
But I get them on enough to look, and I look over, and I see my mom standing in the corner of the room. But the look on her face was one of horror.
wow.
And I didn't understand because at that
Sure.
point I didn't know that my face was paralyzed.
Okay.
I had full feeling. I just couldn't move it.
Right. Okay.
But my mom certainly knew my face was paralyzed.
Sure.
And she was thinking, what did these butchers do to my poor son's face?
Right.
And that was the beginning of my downturn as I looked backwards.
Really?
That reaction of
Mm,
a mom's reaction to her son's face.
mm.
Mom's supposed to love me unconditionally,
Right.
you know.
Sure.
So anyway, I got enough strength a couple days later to get up and go to the bathroom and look in the mirror, and I'm like, oh wow, really noticeable. I was in the hospital a week, got home, developed a spinal fluid leak out of the base of the incision, had to go back for a second surgery so they
Yeesh.
could redo the incision properly.
Okay.
Got back home. That was only overnight stay. Got back and I started healing.
Right.
And I went back to answering emails and talking to clients on the phone. And I was, I was taking a lot of naps during the day because brain surgery knocks the wind out of you
I bet.
for weeks, if not
Yeah.
months.
I bet.
But after a week, I was like, okay, I can get back to work,
Kind of
and
like jet lagged, but you can work.
yeah, you can
Yeah.
tough through it, you
Right.
know.
Right. Right.
But I stopped going out. I stopped doing anything fun. I
Mm,
stopped going to reunions, high school reunions, college reunions. I stopped meeting new people. I just didn't feel comfortable in my own
right.
skin any longer.
Right. Right. Right.
And so I hid for 12 years.
Wow. 12 years.
12 years.
Wow.
It just was easy to stay home
Work from
as
home. You
opposed
already
to,
worked from home anyway.
yeah, as
So you
opposed to deal with the
that
stares, the
shocked look.
looks,
Right, right, right.
the
Right.
pity,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh, poor man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I tell a story in my TED Talk.
Yeah.
But you can find it on YouTube. It has over 1 million views.
I bet.
And, TED Talks are all about one idea.
Sure.
So the idea of my TED Talk was how to treat people who are different with respect and compassion.
Yeah.
That was the
That's a good
subject of my
topic.
TED Talk. Yeah, exactly.
Good topic. And coming from you, it carries weight and gravitas. Yes.
So I went to a restaurant. I was having dinner by myself, and of course the girlfriend left me, and because I wasn't any fun anymore.
Right. Okay.
So I'm sitting in a booth, and there's a booth in front of us, and in front of me, and there's a mom, dad, and a little boy, 5, 6, 7-year-old boy, and he's restless. So he turns around and is facing me, being the knees on the bench, looking over the back of the bench. And he's kind of twisting his head, kind of like, hmm, that's weird. And he gets up and he comes over, and he's standing 2 feet away. He said, "Mister, what's wrong with your face?" And in that moment, I wanted to come up with some kind of funny retort, but I know it would go over the kid's head.
Sure.
So I realized in that moment that that would be a great teachable moment.
Totally.
But before I had a chance to do anything, his mom got up, grabbed
Mm.
him by the arm, and said, "Don't bother the nice man. He has enough troubles already," and
Mm.
pulled him back to their table.
Right.
Well, at that point, I knew I needed to intervene. So I
Okay.
went over and knelt down next to the little boy and I said, you had a really good question. You see, I had a medical procedure and it caused me not to be able to move my face, but it's my new face and I love it because it's cool. It's different, just like yours.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And
You're
without,
kind of lying to yourself at this point. I like it.
yeah, I'm telling myself my new story,
I like it. Yes.
and without missing a beat, the little 5 or 6-year-old boy he takes his hands and his fingers and he started twisting his own face to look like mine.
Mm.
And he turned to his mom and said, "Look, Mom, I can do that too."
Wow. Yeah. 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 Changed your mind a little bit.
It did.
Yeah.
It made
Right.
me understand that kids don't have a filter,
Right.
but they also don't have any judgments. They
Correct.
speak the truth
Right. He
and
was
they
just
accept the
curious. Yeah.
truth.
Yeah. Exactly.
Adults, man, they don't.
Right.
They hide the truth.
Right.
So, you know, I finally I had a childhood hobby of performing magic,
Okay.
and I started performing magic.
Okay.
I joined the Magic Castle, which is a private club in Hollywood for
Right.
magicians,
Yep.
and I joined, and I put together a couple tricks here and there, and mustered the courage to be able to put together a 20-minute show.
Okay.
And I would sit down at a table, and people would come over and sit at the table, and I would start performing, and audiences were distracted by my face, not in a judgment way, just in a curiosity way. Hey, did he have a stroke?
Right.
He had Bill's palsy.
Right.
Why
Right.
is
Right.
his face paralyzed?
Right.
And that detracted from them enjoying the magic experience because I'm a good storyteller
Sure.
and I make the magic about my spectators. It's not about me.
Right.
So I came up with this concept that I would introduce myself. Hi, my name is John. I've been doing magic all my life. But in 2002, I had a brain tumor. And when they cut off my head, they traumatized my facial nerve, hence the paralyzed face. But something happened to me on that operating room table. Now, I'm not sure what it was because I was unconscious. All I know is that I recovered. Well, I realized I had acquired some new skills. And then I pause and I wait for the audience to get on the edge of their seat.
Okay.
Wanted to know what possible skills I could have acquired from having surgeons monkeying around with my brain.
Sure.
You know, they say we only use 10% of our brain.
Right.
So maybe somehow they triggered me to be able to use 30 or 40% of my brain. Who knows?
Who knows?
And then I look to my right and my left like it's the biggest secret. And I lean in and I whisper in a loud voice, guys, I am able to visualize people's thoughts.
Ooh.
And then I start doing some mentalism or mental magic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And what that does is two things when I perform. Number one, that answers the question that no one really knows how to ask.
Sure.
Why is your face screwed up, dude? Yep. And the second,
It's not that we don't want to ask. We're just not allowed.
yeah, I mean, it's not
Right.
proper.
It's not yeah, exactly. Right.
Kids can do it, but adults, they're not going
We're
to,
not allowed.
they're
Right.
just going to sit there and wonder.
Right.
And wonder's a great thing, but only when you wonder about something good.
It can get in the way, especially if you're going to do a performance.
Yeah.
Right. So
And the
that's good. I
second,
mean, it's a good trick to get it out of the way. Right. I like that.
but the second thing is,
Yeah.
it shared something with the audience. I shared something very personal about myself.
Totally. Yes.
And I opened the curtains. I let them look under the hood.
Right.
I let them see past my facial paralysis into
Yeah.
my heart.
Yeah.
And they were immediately engaged.
Yeah.
Other magicians would come over and, John, how do you wrap the audience around your little finger? I don't understand.
Right.
And I would say, brain surgery. So, so that's when I started rebuilding my self-confidence.
Okay.
But it was
Gotcha.
really when I still didn't look in mirrors or take photos, pose for photos,
Okay. Gotcha.
because that two-dimensionality of looking in a mirror or a photo really
Yeah.
accentuated the droopiness of my face. And so I
Yeah.
would,
Yeah.
but I went in August 3rd, 2017, I was at a magic convention, my first magic convention in Las Vegas called Magic Live at
Okay.
the Orleans Hotel.
Okay.
And I was amongst the greatest minds in magic. And I thought to myself, if these great minds of magic, I want to remember these moments. So I got the courage to go over and start asking these magicians to pose for a photograph.
Okay.
And I got 20 or 30 photographs. And as I got home and I was uploading the photos to my computer, it dawned on me if these great minds in magic had no trouble taking a picture with me, what was my hang up?
Right.
You know?
Right. Right. Right.
And that was really when I really started owning my adversity
Yeah.
and where my facial paralysis and my story became my biggest asset, became my
Right.
superpower
Sure did.
because it gave me instant authenticity.
Right.
And I can't count the number of people who are going through a medical crisis in their life. And
Mm.
they stumbled or were introduced to me at the Magic Castle.
Oh wow.
And they shared their stories with me.
That's amazing.
And I shared my stories with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There
That
was
little
one
two-way there, that is amazing.
there
Yeah.
was one
Any
gentleman named Ron Carmichael.
okay.
And he was at the Magic Castle for his first time, and his friend had brought him. And later on, I found out his friend told me that Ron had been diagnosed with cancer the third time that very morning.
Yeesh.
And he didn't want to go out. And he told his wife that he was not going to go through a third round of treatments, that he was just going to let it kill him.
Wow.
And this was their attempt to change his mood, just get him excited about something.
Okay. Interested in living again.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
spent the entire evening with Ron, did magic for him, shared stories. I just listened.
Mm,
I asked him what his fears were, and I shared what my fears were, and we just bonded.
mm. Is this a young guy or an older guy or?
No, I was in my 40s,
Okay.
and he was probably in his 50s at that time.
Yeah, you don't want to go out when you're 50. I mean,
Oh,
if you're 90 or something, maybe I could
yeah,
consider.
but he
Yeah.
was, yeah, he
If
was.
you're
I
50,
never asked him how old he was, to be
right.
honest.
But you're guessing. That's okay. Ballpark 50s. Yes.
But I got a call from his friend Joe 2 days later saying, "John, magic happened." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "On the way home, Ron told us all that he was going to fight. If John could do it, I can do it."
There you go. That
And
feels good, doesn't
oh my God, it's the best
it?
feeling in the world.
I know.
And 8 or 9 months later, Ron
Yeah.
called me crying
Yeah. Yeah.
and say his doctor just said he was in remission.
Mm, that's awesome.
And I have multiple stories. Speaking of stories, I authored a book called Playing the Hand You Are Dealt.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm going to offer
Fantastic.
your listeners a PDF version of this book.
But they got to listen to the end of the show.
But yeah, you don't know when in the episode I will
Right.
drop the link, and it will not be in the show notes.
It will not be in the show notes. Right.
And there are many stories in the book
Mm,
about how I got into trouble as a kid, how the whole surgery story, how
right.
I met some amazing people in my life. I've always lived my life with the premise that it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Always.
And has that bit me in the butt?
Yes, of course.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because you get on that fine line, and
Yes.
sometimes you cross the line.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's also given me the most amazing experiences in my life. And
Mm,
I put many of those that I could remember in this book. One of my
wow.
favorite was when Alex Trebek came out with his diagnosis of pancreatic cancer in national television
Yeah.
and
That's got to
asked
be
for
tough.
prayers and positive
Yeah.
thoughts to his
Right.
fans. As I said, I had worked with people who had been dealing with cancer, and I'm no healer,
Right.
but I can give people hope.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
founded,
you've been through it. When you speak, you've got like, I
yeah,
went through that.
experience.
Right.
So I
I
found
know
his
what it's
daughter,
like.
Nikki,
Yeah. Okay.
on Facebook,
All right.
and I pestered her enough. And finally, she accepted my friend request, and I said, "Look, I need to perform magic for your dad,
Okay. Wow.
and I'm not going to take no for an answer. And here's a video of me performing. Here's my TED talk. But I think I can help your dad go through this trauma, this adversity,
Wow.
and I want to do that for him."
That's awesome.
And she called me like 30 minutes later after she read that.
Wow.
And she said, "Who are you?"
Yeah. I'm John Kippen, damn it.
And I was like, I was touched by your dad's plea to his fans,
Yeah.
to the world, to send good thoughts and prayers his way.
Right.
And I told her some of the story. And I invited the whole family to come to the Magic Castle as my guest. She said, "No, Dad doesn't want to be out amongst strangers. But we are having a 75th birthday party and we have no entertainment. So if you want to come and perform, we'll hire you as the magician for the show." I said, "Abso-freaking-lutely."
Yeah. Perfect.
And I spent the next 2 months writing a brand new show,
Wow. Just for
completely
Alex.
with an Alex theme, Jeopardy theme. And there are on my website, there are a couple excerpts
Yeah.
from that performance where I had Alex at the close up table with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
and our banter be back and forth and his reactions. And, you know,
Yeah.
he was such a smart guy that he really
Oh yeah.
wanted to know how the magic was happening. And he was just sitting there fuming because he couldn't figure it out.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I did my job.
That's right.
But performance, after the performance, we went in a side room in the restaurant, and it was just
Right.
he and I. And I said, Alex, I just wanted you to know that I reached out to you or your family, and I said, I was so touched by your plea for prayers and positive thoughts that I thought sharing my love for magic with you, sharing my story, might give you some strength to fight this disease and beat it. And I wanted you to know what you mean to the world. You're one of these celebrities that's above reproach, unlike the Matt Lauers of the world. You
Right.
are so smart, and you're so consistent, and you're so compassionate reading those answers on Jeopardy, and you never miss a beat. And I just need to tell you what you mean to me, my family, and the millions of people who at 7 p.m. every night have
Hmm.
Jeopardy on in the kitchen TV or the spare bedroom or whatever. They may not be watching every moment of the episode, but you're in their homes,
Right.
you're in their hearts, you're in their minds. And he got really emotional. And I said, what's wrong? And he said, no one ever takes the time to say thank you for my life's work.
Mm.
And I said, well, Alex, thank you on the behalf of the world. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was in a special moment that I will remember to this day.
Yeah.
That just I connected with another human being.
Right.
Didn't matter that he was a multimillionaire celebrity.
Right.
Didn't matter. We were two
But
human beings.
not everybody is going to get like you were blessed with this curse, right? You could call it a curse or a
Ah,
blessing. Now it's a blessing, right? When you
well,
first,
yeah, it's a
yeah,
mindset. It's
yeah.
a mindset.
Like when you first, you didn't like it for 12 years or so
That's right.
until you had that little epiphany with the little kid, right? Then
Yeah,
you see the value
right.
of the whole story, right? But
So when
nobody
my
else, who else could get in, John? Like
right, but it was
that was one of those things where the universe specifically needed you.
I believe that, and
Yeah.
I'm not a
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
religious person,
Me neither. But
but I do believe that
that,
things
yeah.
are meant to be meant to be.
Yeah. There's this like Eastern tradition. I'm really bad at remembering what things are called, but it's about like spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it, some sort of teaching
Hmm.
from can come through anybody anytime. It's like the Matrix, right? An
Yeah,
agent can be anybody connected to the system.
there's an
It
energy.
it might happen to you. You might happen like all of a sudden you're just like and then you're doing this thing and then you come out of it. You're like, what the hell just happened? So that's
I,
kind of
I
what's going
resist
on with you.
I
Yeah.
resist saying this publicly, but I am an empath. I
Oh, wow. It's
I
awesome.
feel people's pain.
Wow.
You know, um,
That's got to be tough.
yeah. But I look at it as an
It's a
opportunity.
superpower, but it's you
I
got to
look at
lean
it as an
into it.
opportunity to help people.
Totally. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, but I mean, it is great, and it's amazing to use things like this, like
Yeah,
that sort of reward of those sorts of connections. Even if it's not Alex Trebek, it's just some stranger you meet, right?
absolutely.
It's because I've been through this too, like where I remember I rode my bike uh, from my house to a bar. And it's in LA. So I was going from like say, I don't know how familiar you are with the South Bay area, but it was probably like an hour bike ride to get to Redondo Beach,
Hmm.
a very specific bar where they had lots of beer and my football game that I couldn't watch at home, right? They had the ticket.
Right.
So I'm there and I'm in my bike gear, right? And people are teasing me because of the way I'm dressed, and I don't care, right? I don't care. But then I start hanging around with this older couple. They're about my age, but a little bit older, right? And I don't know why, but they start buying me drinks. And before my game is over, right? I'm like getting up to leave, and they're like, "No, no, no, don't leave. Hang out." And I'm like, "I gotta go, I don't want to drink anymore because I gotta ride my bike home." And they're like, "We'll throw your bike in the back of the truck. We'll drive you all the way home. Just hang
Hmm.
out with us. You're cool." Right. I'm like, "You're buying." Right. So I stay. Right. And before we leave, they tell me this very long, heartbreaking story about how they lost their son.
Hmm.
And we're all crying. Right. And I'm like, you know, wow. The universe just made me do this thing, right? And
Yeah.
it just all
Right
those
place,
right
right
words,
time.
all those right words that I said were very comforting to them, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the hell I said, but I said the right thing, right? Over and over again, and then, and then
You said what they needed to hear.
exactly, just like the Oracle in the Matrix, right?
Yeah.
Was any of that true? Who cares? That's not what it's about. You're saying what they need to hear. Yeah. And and it's an amazing feeling when that happens. Yeah.
And
So
that's
okay.
why I became a resilience and empowerment coach.
There you go.
I don't call myself a life coach. If you look at
No.
me, I'm certainly not a fitness coach.
Hey, we're all some level of fit.
Yeah. And that's still a fault flaw I'm working on, to get
Alive
keep
is a
fit.
fitness level.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I love helping people get out of their head
Yeah.
and get out of their own way.
Yeah.
Happiness is a choice.
Totally.
It's a mindset shift.
Yeah. You have to choose it. Yeah.
You have to choose happiness.
Yeah.
Right.
Over and over again.
Doesn't mean you have to do it every moment of every day.
Yeah. I'm
You
to
can't
me,
let it consume you.
it's like the Buddhists say, right? Like you can't, like, if you believe them, one of the big deals that we're working on here on Earth in this deal is how to deal with suffering, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
nobody gets out alive. Like the Dalai Lama suffers.
Yeah.
He just doesn't suffer 8 times about the same thing. Like
Right. Yeah.
he's got a way to deal with it.
So when I get a new coaching client, I am a great listener.
Right.
I do my best not to judge.
Right. We all judge.
We all judge.
You
I
just don't
just do my
verbalize
best to keep an open mind.
Right.
I build rapport. And then I have a system that I've developed
Okay.
that I reversed engineered from my healing of the different stages and the different methodologies that I've crafted, I guess you could say,
Sure.
to give me hope, to
Right.
give me
Strength.
the ability to deal with adversity and get back up as quickly as possible. We all get knocked down,
Everybody.
everybody.
Yeah.
It's
Everybody has shame too, right? So you went
yeah,
through like a whole bunch of shame. Shame is horribly it's just
resilience
it's the
is the
word.
measurement of how
Yeah.
quickly you get
Yeah.
back up.
Right. Right.
That's what resilience is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's vital
Yeah. You need it.
to not stagnate. to not hide from life like I did for 12 years.
Right.
I have helped clients understand that through my experiences and my leading questions. Because, if I were to give my coaching clients the answers, well, then someone just giving me their opinions.
Right.
So it's guiding them through asking certain questions,
Yeah.
them to come up with the
Yeah.
realizations on their own.
Yeah. I've heard that. Yeah. As a
And that is
coach,
a
you don't
skill.
want to you
That's a
don't want to
skill on how to do that.
if you just tell them what to do, then you're kind of
They
in
get
charge.
defensive.
That too. But also, even if they think, oh yeah, that's a really good idea. Now you've picked up the stick, and it's like now you're in
Right.
charge of making them okay. So that doesn't work.
So that's what separates a good coach from a great coach,
Right.
is someone who can
Lead you to the answer.
lead
Your
you.
own answer. Your own answer.
Right.
Right.
Everybody has their own answers.
Right. If you can give them clarity about choice,
Yeah.
that's huge. Right. Like most people that are struggling, like I know I struggled with depression, suicide when I was younger. And it seems like you have no choices. You can't, there's tons of choices, right? After you're not depressed anymore, suddenly you see all the choices again. But what it does is like depression just narrows your vision to see no choice or one choice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of dreaming.
Oh, huge.
As a kid, 5, 6, 7 years old with my parents, they would have an adult friend come over. And the adult friend would meet me and shake my little hand and say, "So, John, what do you want to be when you grow up?"
Yeah. I always hated that
And
question.
I would say, "I want to be a policeman."
All right. It would change every day.
"No, I want to be a fireman."
Right.
"Wait, no, wait. I want to be a rock star."
Right.
And I go into my room and grab 2 rulers and start whacking on everything, pretending I'm playing the drums and play my air guitar. And I'm in a world of make-believe where everything was possible.
Sure.
And I could be doing that for hours where there were no limitations. My coaching method is called the I'm possible method because impossible is actually 2 words. I'm possible.
I like that. Oh, that's good.
And then we grow up. We go to high school and we go to college and we get a house and we get into a relationship and we build a job or a career and we get to a certain point in our lives where we realize we're not really happy.
Mm,
And oftentimes because we're living someone else's dream.
totally.
We're living our mom's dream. We're living
Mm,
our dad's dream. We're
mm,
living Uncle Joe's dream. We're living everybody's dream but our own.
right.
And so I do a lot of dream work in my coaching practice
Oh, nice.
because that is so important. They say if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life.
I've heard that before.
Well, nothing could be truer. But to
Mm,
understand what that passion is deep, and you might not realize it,
mm,
dreaming allows that passion to come out.
yeah.
And you start saying, I want to be happy. What does that happiness look like? And I have my clients describe it, close their eyes and describe that to me. And after this, at the end of the session, they kind of have a clear idea of what they're doing and how they're standing in their own way and
Mm,
that how pleasurable that dreaming was.
mm.
Doesn't mean that they can achieve every dream,
No,
but
it
what if
opens
you
up
come
their
down into
chances to do more.
micro dreams?
Yeah.
is so important.
Huge. I just heard a phrase that I really like that I think applies to everybody. And I will attribute it to no one, but I heard it on more than one podcast recently. So I heard it on Tim Ferriss. I heard it on Andrew Huberman, maybe even on Rhonda Patrick. Those three people were in the constellation.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to a lot of podcasts. It was, I'm paraphrasing. So it was like a question that you ask yourself, that I keep asking myself. How am I complicit in creating the conditions in my life that I say I don't want?
Absolutely.
Isn't that great?
Absolutely. We all do that.
Isn't that great?
We all catastrophize
I
our
know.
lives,
Yeah.
and we create that world.
Yes.
And
And you keep complaining about it too. Sorry, I keep complaining about it too.
yeah,
Yeah.
everybody does.
Everybody does.
You know, and
Yeah.
that's about getting off the couch and going for a walk and clearing your head, or
Yeah.
you know,
Mostly it's about asking yourself the question over and over again. Right.
absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, let's because we're getting close to the wrap up. So any
We are.
business we want to do now, this might be the time. Do you have time to briefly talk about how you met Jamie Lee Curtis, or is that too
Yeah,
long a story?
absolutely.
Briefly do that, and then we'll get to the magic book link.
Okay.
Okay.
So KippenCoaching.com is the website if you want to set up a free call to see if my coaching method is something that can help you guys.
I will link that in the show notes.
Please do.
Will do.
I was introduced to Jamie Lee Curtis by her assistant, who worked for a production company that I did IT for.
Okay.
And I went over to her house one day, and I'm sitting there, and she wanted to kind of know what was going on, so she sat right beside me, and we were doing some software updates. She was like, "Come on, John, the time's money. Money is time. Why is it taking so long?" And I'm like, "Jamie, you got to relax. You got to relax." And so it gave us time for me to tell her a little bit about myself.
Okay.
And I think she adopted me as her third kid.
Wow. Just based on that one little interaction.
Well, multiple interactions, but
okay.
you
became her IT person, basically.
I became her tech guru.
That's awesome. Love it.
And I remember there was a guy who worked for a production company, and in the evening he was a filmmaker, and his name is Ryan. And Ryan came to me one day and said, "Hey, John, I have this idea for a documentary I want to do." I was like, "Oh, yeah, what's it about?" And he says, "You and your story."
Oh, wow.
And I was I was like, "Wow, that's cool." Till I realized I would be paying for the production cost of the documentary. But I was sitting with
That's
Jamie,
cool.
and it was just all theory at this point.
Right.
I was sitting at Jamie's house.
But that would make you a producer. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. And I was telling her that this guy, friend of mine, was an amateur filmmaker, and he was going to do this documentary on my journey in my life and my story. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, how do I drop the bomb? How do I ask that question? And I just was staring right at the screen. And I could feel Jamie staring at me. And she broke the silence by saying, "And?" And I looked at her, and she goes, "And?" I said, "Jamie, um, will you be in my documentary?" And she goes, "Fuck yes!" Excuse my French.
Okay.
And it was amazing to work with her.
I bet.
And she made it a success.
I bet.
It was my story, but her love of me and her trust in me.
Yeah.
There's a picture of us hugging at the award ceremony. This film, John's Ultimate Illusion, won all sorts of film festival awards.
That's amazing.
And that was taken right outside where she had presented me with the Best Documentary Award.
Wow.
For this 15-minute short film called John's Ultimate Illusion. And it's linked in the book and also on my website. Oh, by the way, the URL to go to get my book is
it won't be in the notes.
johnkippen.com/free gift.
Love it.
It will take you to a form. It'll ask you to enter your name and email address. And then it will email you a link to download a copy of this book. And the link has a password. So you need to, it's John Kippen is the password, all one word.
Okay.
And then you get a PDF of my best-selling book that Jamie Lee wrote the forward to.
That's awesome.
That was another gulp moment of asking her, Jamie, I'm writing this book, and will you write the forward? I was a little more practiced at that point. And she did.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, I've had an incredible life, and I'm still having incredible moments in my life. And nothing fulfills me more than helping people get out of their own way to turn their adversity into their superpower. Yeah. And that's my calling in life. You know, I do speak from time to time, but I hate traveling. And it takes a lot out of me.
Sure.
So I'm able to pay my house payment by coaching people.
That's great.
But what I get out of it, money, yes, of course. Yeah. But I get out of it the joy of seeing people understand their limiting beliefs and start practicing whittling away at those limiting beliefs. Yeah. And that is just an amazing,
it's huge. Yeah.
Amazing thing to be able to.
And you're making these amazing relationships and connections too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's
what I'm about.
There's nothing better. There's nothing better.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
There you go. John, this has been amazing. Now I'm going to go watch some of the magic. I'm going to get the book. I'm going to watch the movie. All right. So johnkippen.com and also kippencoaching.com.
Right.
They'll both be in the show notes.
Yeah. But johnkippen.com/free gift.
Free gift.
Is where you download the
password is John Kippen.
No space.
No space.
Kippen.
Kippen. All right. We got it. We did it. We made it to the end. We landed the plane.
Thanks, Jeffrey.
Thank you, John.
I really enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, well, you know, it's easy. It's just me.
It's just you.
Yeah.
And your beautiful ocean background.
There you go. Very calming.
Very, very soothing.
Very soothing. All right.
Thanks for taking the time to ride along with us on another episode of Vroom Vroom Veer. For podcast info and show notes, be sure to head over to vvveer.com. That's VVER.com. Man, that's fun to say. And we'll catch up with you next time here on Vroom Vroom Veer.